And here we go again. As I told you before, timing is key. And we have a fully booked program, so let's proceed with two people from Storyblok. I have, first of all, Sebastiaan van Bergen. He's a partner success manager Benelux and North America at Storyblok, and a global and remote-first SaaS company. So please give him a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. And then the second person is Robert van Hunsel, CEO of Functional Nutrition. And he's so eager to come on stage that he was very quick, so give him a big applause too.
Thank you.
And they're going to talk about reinvention of the face of Brexit, how functional nutrition entered a new e-commerce market using Storyblok. The stage is yours, gentlemen.
Super. Super, thanks so much for the introduction, and good afternoon everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Sebastiaan van Bergen, I'm a partner success manager at Storyblok, and joining me here today is Robert van Hunsel, CEO of Functional Nutrition, one of our great clients. Today we will dive into the journey of functional nutrition with Storyblok after Brexit, and we will elaborate a bit more why they choose Storyblok as the preferred CMS. So yeah, tell me Robert, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks. I was actually looking at my photo, and it looks like I have the same pose as my photo, but that aside.
Okay, great. I'm happy to hear that. Before we get into it, can you maybe tell me some more background information about yourself, about functional nutrition? I can imagine the audience is not familiar yet with your company, so please tell them something more about it.
Well, I'm Robert. I'm CEO of Functional Nutrition in the Netherlands, Amsterdam actually. I have a very diverse background. I have no supplement background. I used to be a singer a long time ago, so I was in the entertainment industry, so it feels a bit like home being here on stage. I was a financial controller. I was also part of a design company. And after a long travel, I got in contact with Functional Nutrition, which was last year, April actually. They were looking for someone to represent Functional Nutrition in the Netherlands. And actually, the reason why they came to the Netherlands is because of Brexit. Because Functional Nutrition is a company that already exists for the last 15 years. And due to Brexit, they got into trouble, basically. They had a lot of clients in the EU, rest of the world. And from one moment to the other, they actually were faced with duties and extra delivery times. And from having really speedy delivery and low costs, they ended up with clients complaining that they had to wait for 3 weeks and had to spend extra costs. So for them, that was the reason to actually open an office in the Netherlands, covering basically everything outside of the UK. And I was the lucky one to become their director. Started off as a one-man band what was it now, 1.5 years ago. And in the meantime, we've grown as a company from me as a one-man band to 12 people here in the Netherlands, a few in Romania, Denmark, and the head office in the UK. And the reason why actually I'm here is that when I got in touch with the company, they asked actually, can you pitch yourself? Can you give us your view on what the company should be in the future? And I don't think I made them happy initially, because I gave them a presentation, actually said, your website looks crap, you have no connection to your customers. I mean, it was a purely B2B, B2C platform. Which was pretty basic. They had no marketing. They had not even a company website that was like representative, etc. So the fact that I said, well, your company looks crap and I think we can do a lot better, actually got me in that position. Funny enough. I see Valentina laugh. And actually the fact that I said that the website looked crap, the remark was actually, what do you think we should do to improve the website? So for me, it was actually pretty simple on one hand, because I said we need to have a website to serve people all over the world. So that means multilingual, multi-payment options, and also the flexibility to actually localize. Because I think if you want to be selling in individual countries all over the world, you need to make sure that your website and your platform is also equipped to be representative in different countries. So long story short, that's me, and that's how I got into the company.
Super, thanks so much. Makes sense. And from what you're telling us, it seems like Supplement, your B2C platform wasn't set up in the most optimal way. what were the steps that you took to resolve that and to let it operate more efficient in the end?
No, when I joined the company, we had a Shopify Plus platform, which is simple Shopify template, which is not very flexible. So what I did July last year was actually I sent out a pitch. I invited 4 different companies to actually give their views on how we should move forward. 2 of them were from the UK, 2 of them were from the Netherlands. And we ended up with a company in the Netherlands called Story of AMS. And they actually gave the right answers to the questions. Can you help us with a platform that's easy to localize and easy workable? So we signed a contract with them last year, August. And actually said, well, one of the things that we're trying to achieve is getting a new website live on the 6th of December. And I don't think I have to tell you, usually if you start working with agencies, that if they give you a deadline, usually it takes 3 times as long. And usually it's very frustrating to work with them because they never understand what you're trying to achieve. But we made it. We went live on the 6th of December. And the reason we chose them, I think that's a really important aspect, is that they have e-commerce experience. They know how it is to work with Shopify. They know what it is to actually create something that's flexible for us, that we could tackle all these issues. So we started working with them in August, did a small digital rebrand because we already had the platform, but it's, as I said, from looking crap to looking something that's really representative. And then we went into the next stage of development. So we went into the development phase. We didn't notice that much. We just expressed what our wishes were. And somewhere in November, so 2-3 months after we launched, we were represented with a platform called Storyblok. And probably you guys also worked with CMSs before. Usually it's a nightmare. You come half of the developer yourself because you have to code and do like all creepy things to make sure that everything's being translated to the front end. But we actually were working with a system that was really easy to use. So I think we only had a half an hour instruction to work with the platform. And then not only myself, but everyone could start working and fill in the content. So we achieved our goal. We had 4 people in marketing that were responsible for product descriptions, shipping rates, the conditions, etc., etc. But also one other aspect, we also translated the website in Dutch at the same time. So that means we could already launch with a multilingual, although it's 2 languages, on the 6th of December. And we had everything. We had a new PSP, so we had a new payment service provider. It wasn't CM, it was a different company, which enabled us to actually have localized payment options. So now we currently have 17. So for in Holland, we had Ideal, in Belgium, Bankcontact, and etc., and KBC. But we also had the possibility to actually then be flexible and to be more localized and to show different products in a different language in a different country. So those were the steps that we took.
Super, great to hear. And just to go back a bit, regarding the requirements that you had, is that something you already had all on paper when you went to Story of AMS, the agency, or did they help you out with that to figure out exact requirements that you had for the platform?
Well, we wrote some sort of a briefing, I think, because every agency wants to have some sort of a briefing, but for us it was pretty simple. You can see what we have. We want to localize. We want to have all these different options in the platform. And that was it, basically. And we gave them the freedom, because you can dictate a lot as a client, but giving an agency freedom to do things themselves, because they're the experts. I mean, we're not an e-commerce expert then. We're getting better at it. So we actually gave them the freedom to do what they thought was useful.
Yeah, great to hear that. And for the people in the audience, Story of AMS is also one of our certified Storyblok partners. So really nice that you figured out your way towards them. How did a Headless CMS like Storyblok come into play then? Like you already touched a bit on that, but can you maybe elaborate more on that, how it also helped you to eliminate your challenges and help you further with it?
Well, we initially it was presented as Storyblok is part of your CMS because we got a headless front end and Storyblok is part of the service that we were offered. But the integrations that we had, I mean, we as I said, we did have any coding. It was very easy to, because we have 2,500 products. So we had to make sure that all the products were put in the right way in the website. They did some sort of a migration, but not a big one. Of course, we had Shopify Plus, which is something that easily connects with Storyblok as well. So everything with products translates automatically to the front end. But one big challenge that we had is that because we have 2,500 products, how do you translate it? And we're a supplement company. So one of the challenges is how do you write a product description in the right tone of voice in the right country? So I think that took us the most effort, is actually translating stuff. And we were helped by the agency because they actually came up with a tool called Langify. If you ever need a tool to translate, it's a tool called Langify that's really useful, which is also connected to Storyblok. So translating stuff in Langify gave us also the opportunity to push forward different products. And in the meantime, we have Dutch, English, Romanian, Danish, and at the moment we're doing Italian, Spanish, and German. And now that it's pretty easy. I mean, we've still got the same system. If we write a new blog, if we post new content, it's automatically being made available in Storyblok. You click the button Translate, you select the language that you want to translate in, and you can easily do it. So I think it's a combination of them actually telling us to use the product, but also now we are adapting it to ourselves, and it's easy implementable with regards to languages, etc.
Yeah, really nice to hear that. We also hear that from more clients and partners, but happy that you are also can confirm that here. With all the content migration that need to occur, how did you do that? I can imagine because you already had a shop, the web shop, that was like a gigantic process and operation to migrate all the content. How did Storyblok help you with that? How did the agency help you with that?
Well, it's a bit of a combination. I mean, as I said, the translation was the most challenging part. Luckily, the system is already connected to Shopify, so everything is pushed from Shopify to the front end, to Storyblok basically. So all the products we maintain in Shopify. We also have different tools and apps that we use, like a stock inventory overview. We have product descriptions and keywords, etc. They're all being adapted and changed in Shopify, and then automatically being pushed forward. There is one thing that I need to also make a remark to, is that when I went back to what I actually wanted to achieve, is localize the platform, is something that's happening right now. We're launching a new front end in Romania, which is a different store in Shopify. And now we can actually show different prices in the local currency, different products, different blogs. And that also helps us to actually really enter into a local market. Because usually you start off with a generic English translated website, generic products. But product A, well, for example, in our case, a vitamin D product could work really well in a country where it's cold or where there's no sun. But if there's a country that has enough sun and you have enough vitamin D, maybe you need to push different products. So now we're really flexible. And the easiness with Storyblok is also that I don't have to explain anything to my colleagues, new colleagues. This week we had a new colleague joining from Germany, and we had a so-called introduction session to Storyblok, which basically was like, okay, let's open the Storyblok, just click a bit here and there, because it's really intuitive. I'm not from Storyblok, so I'm not selling the product, but I literally saw how easy it is also for her to adapt the tools. So again, happy with that. And you can see the result actually by Hans.
Yeah, great. Really happy to hear that. You kind of already talked about it, but regarding the onboarding, like there was a stage where the project was about to go live. Can you tell a bit more about that, how it was for your team to really get the first time in touch with Storyblok? We also have a visual editor, of course. How that was for them to work with really in the first months and how they experienced it.
Well, I think usually what you do with an agency is they actually help you, and they write like protocols and descriptions, and they create videos, etc., how to use the tool. I seriously think we only had 1 hour of introduction from Story of AMS and Storyblok. As I said, I mean, I've worked with Drupal, I've worked with other CMS systems, and it's usually very difficult to get the image from A to Z, to create product descriptions, making sure everything's being translated to the front end. I hear someone today saying, well, actually, if I create images, there is a developer actually needed to push it to the front end. All this stuff is not needed. And I think we have a content marketer, and she's very keen on uploading images, writing blogs, etc. And they just said, well, here it is. You can just drag and drop all the blogs and elements that you want to drag and drop, and you can change it yourself. So to answer your question, it was, here it is, work with it, and to be honest, we had hardly any complaints. I think the biggest complaint we had is, why do we have 2,500 products? Because we need to translate them. But that was it.
Okay, super. So basically, if you should summarize how happy or unhappy you are in the team, how would you, how would you judge on that? Like with a new supplement hub, I guess I can.
No, you can guess the answer, but I think if I put my colleague on stage who's actually working the most with Storyblok, I think she would say the same as I. We can easily make changes. We just made a move to the warehouse, so we're shifting warehouse, and we want to do promotions. So we decided to promote a few products, and for us, promotion is creating a new blog, creating a new header, creating new images as well, and pushing a product live. But the product wasn't in stock, so that means that we had to quickly change and adapt. And before the end of the day, we had a new blog, we had new images, we pushed the product, and that's something you can do with Storyblok. So I think they're happy, and if they're happy, then we can grow. And actually, it's not easy for me to sell going into new countries, because I think everyone is so familiarized with using the tools they have that it's really easy to push forward.
Yeah, it makes sense. To change a bit the perspective for you as perspective as CEO, business owner, are there any short-term, medium-term results that you can already share with us since you implement Storyblok?
Yeah, when I pitched myself, they called me a bit crazy, because I said I want to be live in 10 countries, 10 languages. I want to be operational in the Middle East and Asia Pacific, etc., etc. So they called me a bit foolish, but I think if you have a platform that works, if it's flexible, it's very easy to enter to in a market. So we currently sell in 65 countries. We have already 8 localized campaigns, so in the local language in a local country. And we're now talking to the Middle Eastern region to actually create a generic website. We use Storyblok for that as well. It's actually generic look and feel, still push the same products that we have available on Supplement Hub, and then we can integrate it in third parties' websites. So literally, we have Supplement Hub, we have a white label version that we created in Storyblok, and just giving them a feed makes it actually really easy to implement it in their website. So for me as a business owner, it makes it easier to make decisions to enter a market. Before you start your new question, I think we also have something that we're doing at the moment. We've got Supplement Hub, which is our B2C platform. But actually we started off as a B2B company. So our biggest client base are practitioners worldwide. And what they do is they write so-called protocols for their clients to make them feel better and healthier. So we have about 60,000 clients. And we're also now in the step of actually building our B2B platform also on Storyblok. So all the tailor-made stuff like creating protocols, etc., it has to be custom built. But everything related to the e-commerce side of the website, we're simply making a copy of what we do in our Supplement Hub.
Cool. Yeah, really great to hear, of course. We're talking now about everything that happened between 2021 and today, actually. Are there any future plans you can share with us? Any new markets or other things you're looking at?
We're currently talking with a partner in India, and for us the localization is actually twofold. With Supplement Hub, we're already serving the world basically. So whether we're selling in Holland or in Dubai or in Singapore, it doesn't matter for us, because we can literally serve all the countries. We made one change. We have a distribution partner now that has a network all over the world. So they have distribution hubs in the Netherlands, UK, US, but also Dubai, Hong Kong, etc. So from a logistics perspective, we're there. And so the next steps are representative office in Dubai, a joint venture in India, and end of 2024 having a presence in Asia.
Wow, yeah, that sounds really exciting, and I'm looking forward to see the results also of that plans. Regarding scalability, how is it for you? Like the company is growing super fast. Is Storyblok also supporting you with that regarding scalability, logistics, etc.? Can you tell something more about that?
Well, we currently have our B2C websites. We've now created new shops in Shopify, which we can create like headless front ends together with Storyblok, so we're connecting Storyblok. But we're also currently becoming a technology partner with Storyblok. So that means that we're going towards building a SaaS solution for practitioners. So at the moment, we have protocols. We have the possibility to actually write protocols for our clients, and they can order directly on our website. It goes even as far as if we write a protocol, it's already pushed to the client, and it's pushed to their basket. So they can immediately, after a consult, order their products. And we want to have the same tools to offer to practitioners. So the whole end goal is actually calling a PaaS solution, as we call it, practitioner as a service, which basically is the whole tools that we have and then make it usable for practitioners worldwide. And that actually helps us to grow as a health tech company. Because if people ask me now, what kind of company are you? We're basically a supplement reseller. If I look at our future, we actually want to become a health tech company. And I think Storyblok is also one of our partners to grow towards that goal.
Yeah, no, totally understandable. If you could travel back in the future and you know everything what you know now currently, are there things that you would do different? I can imagine it's also really interesting for today's audience. Maybe there are also people here that are working on the digital transformation. Like, are there things you would have done different, a different approach?
I think the biggest struggle is, especially for us, is translations. We were thinking of should we use translation agencies and then you pay per word or you pay a fixed fee for them to translate stuff. But it's an ongoing thing. We need to keep writing new blogs. We need to create new content. So the underestimation is not the tech, it's more the translation side. And I'm happy that we actually found out that we could use Langify as an app, which makes stuff a lot easier. But we're still looking at how can we create a new product description and then automatically have the translations tools to translate it and push it from one side. So we're now integrating a so-called PIM system, a project inventory management. So we can create product descriptions, we can upload the images, write keywords, do the translations, and then push it forward. So the biggest challenge was actually translations.
Yeah. Okay.
Where do you get people with all different languages from? That's also a different challenge. Dutch and English is not that difficult, but all the other languages are. So we also have to look into our network to find the right people that speak the right language.
Yeah, and I think it's also a really good strategy to really look for local people, for example, in Saudi Arabia. And, Great. I can also imagine not everyone has the financially resources or the in-house development available. What would you advise for people in the audience that are looking for a partner that can help them with the implementation, like Storyblok?
Well, first of all, look for an agency that actually understands what you're looking for. Usually the agencies start off with a introduction, then they want to have a strategy session, then they come up with a strategy session. You've already paid a lot of money actually for nothing. That's my opinion. But and then you have to look for, okay, well, we want to be an e-commerce platform. We want to connect it to Shopify. So the first question you need to ask an agency is, do you have the expertise working with Shopify? There is Shopify, there is BigCommerce, there are other platforms you can use. But what if you come up with an agency that only has the BigCommerce experience and not the Shopify? It's like, it sounds simple, but asking them about the background, asking them for their portfolio, do they actually have experience in the same field that you have? I think those are really key elements to choose an agency.
Clear. Thank you for that information. We want to thank you all for your for being here. Of course, you, Robert, thank you for being our guest and telling your story. We're really happy, of course, to have you as a client at Storyblok. Feel free to come visit us at the booth. We're at booth 8A next to the entrance. And also feel free to connect with me and Robert. We're always open to talk to you guys and share our experience. So thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert and Sebastiaan. And we all remember booth number 8 if we have some additional questions. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and good fortune in the future. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.